everyone, Thordan Smash here, and today we're going to be talking about heirlooms. We now know of the next one coming in. It's going to be a universal style one, but that being said, where are the legend specific ones? We're going to go over all of that. Along with that, we're also going to go ahead and give out the prestige skin. All you got to do is like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Legends, today we're talking about something sacred. Something once so rare, so special, that seeing one in a lobby meant you were looking at a god tier grinder, a max credit card warrior, or a Wraith main who hadn't touched grass in 6 months. I'm talking, of course, about heirlooms. Once upon a time, in a far, far away place, heirlooms were the crown jewel of Apex Legends. Literally, you could make a video on Apex Legends heirlooms and it would get views. They weren't just shiny weapons, they were personality pieces, lore extensions, and flexes of pure loyalty to your main. They were the reason people dumped $160 into an event without actually feeling buyer's remorse. Okay, maybe a little remorse, but still. However, those days, they're gone. Apex Legends has officially moved away from character-specific heirlooms, the personal, lore-rich ones, and into the era of universal heirlooms, where everyone gets to swing around the same glowing toy regardless of who they play. And while that's good for Respawn's bank account, for us players, it feels hollow. Generic, corporate, like trading in your grandma's handwritten recipe book for a McDonald's value menu. Although I will say a McDouble does slap. So let's start with the basics. Heirlooms were about who you were. If you saw a Wraith Kunai in the lobby back in Season 1, not all of you are also from around Season 1, but those of you that are, just try to remember that. You knew instantly that players live in the Void Walker tunnels. They don't just play Wraith, they are Wraith. The Kunai wasn't just a dagger, it was a badge of loyalty of hundreds of hours sunk into one legend. Octane's Butterfly Knife, perfectly chaotic, reckless, perfectly Octane to be honest. Bloodhound's Raven Bite, a weapon dripping in the Norse lore that the character has, matching their mythological roots. Mirage's Trophy, the perfect symbol of a narcissist who could definitely commission a gold statue of himself if given the chance. Heirloom said, "This is who I main, this is who I am." Universal heirlooms, on the other hand, say, "I swiped my credit card and now I look like everybody else." There's no individuality, no story, no soul. It's like Respawn took the heirloom system, once an identity-defining flex, and turned it into a gym membership. Everyone's got it, but not really anyone's proud of it. The hollowness of universal heirlooms comes from one thing: they aren't tied to the legends themselves. Heirlooms used to feel like love letters to mains. Watson's Shock Sticks, a nod to her science obsession. Revenant's Scythe, straight out of his Reaper aesthetic. Pathfinder's Boxing Gloves, pure wholesome energy. And universal heirlooms basically strip all that away. They don't add lore, they don't add personality, they don't deepen the world of Apex. They're just shiny toys you can slap on anyone, and that's why they feel empty, because they're for players, not for legends. Universal heirlooms don't celebrate the characters we love, they celebrate our wallets. And trust me, EA loves your wallet more than it loves Mirage, as much as it may pain you to say that. But why did Respawn ditch character-specific heirlooms in the first place? And spoiler alert, it wasn't because they ran out of cool ideas, it was because they ran out of patience for inefficient profit. Making a character heirloom is expensive. You need unique animation, sound design, effects, lore tie-ins, even voice lines sometimes. Making a universal heirloom, one set of animations, one shiny recolor pipeline, done. Easy. There are over a ton of legends now, with more coming. If Respawn stuck with unique heirlooms, they'd be locked into a decade-long production pipeline just to cover everyone. By then, Apex Legends 2 would be out and Mirage would still not have a girlfriend. And with character heirlooms, you should rationalize skipping one. I don't play Crypto, I don't care about his heirloom. But universal heirlooms, you can't skip them. They work for everyone. This cranks up the FOMO deal to 11. But cheaper and easier isn't always better. Sometimes it's just hollow. And honestly, we should have seen this coming with prestige skins. Remember those? The evolving skins that Respawn hyped up as the future of Apex cosmetics? Yeah, $160 suits that could have belonged to literally anyone. I mean, originally they started out actually kind of tied to the legends, but it quickly devolved into, it's just a skin that evolves. Could go for anyone. They weren't about lore, they weren't about individuality, they were about flexing. They were about universal symbols of spending, not of legend loyalty. The prestige skins were the writings on the wall. They proved Respawn was moving away from character-specific love letters to generic wallet bait, and heirlooms were going to be the next domino to fall. And here's what hurts the most. Universal heirlooms rip out the storytelling element. Heirlooms used to expand the Apex universe. Banglar's pilot knife reminded us of her IMC roots. Lifeline's drumsticks tied to her passion for music, and Crypto's sword carried weight in his story. Universal heirlooms add nothing. They don't tell us anything about the legends. They don't expand the lore. They just glow. They're the fast food of cosmetics. Quick, convenient, profitable, but completely empty calories. And the longer Respawn sticks with this model, the more Apex drifts from being a character-driven hero shooter to be a flashy storefront with Battle Royale attached. Looking at you, Warzone. Now, I'm not naive. Universal Heirlooms are going to be here to stay. They're Respawn's money printer, and EA's not about to turn that off. But here's the thing, they don't have to kill character-specific heirlooms entirely. What Respawn should do is bring them back occasionally. Not every season, not every other season, but maybe once a year, tied to a major lore drop or seasonal event. Respawn should drop a legend-specific heirloom, tie it into the story arcs, make it part of an in-game quest or narrative moment, and turn it into something that feels meaningful, not just another $160 receipt. That way, Universal Heirlooms can keep feeding the mass market, but dedicated mains still get their love letters. Because let's be honest, if you're a Rampart main who's waited for years for her wrench, or a Fuse main who wants a beer bottle heirloom, nothing about the Universal glowing axe is going to scratch that itch. However, if Respawn refuses to bring them back, then heirlooms will keep getting more generic, more universal, and more soulless. We'll go from axes to swords to glowing scythes until Apex looks like Fortnite x World of Warcraft crossover. And yeah, they'll sell, but they'll also alienate the players who fell in love with heirlooms because they were unique, personal, and tied to legends. The heirloom system will stop being about celebrating legends and start being about celebrating sales. And that's the real tragedy, because Apex was always about its characters. You strip that away, and Apex just becomes another battle royale in a crowded market. I don't know, that's going to be my thought on the whole Universal Heirlooms with the ones coming out on Tuesday. We're going to go ahead and jump into community clips now. Don't forget to submit your own to me at Thordan Special on Twitter, but without further ado, let's roll it.
One.
Enemy down. Very good. We finish off the whole. Reload. More enemies down. I gotcha.
Down below, what are your guys' thoughts on the new style of Universal Heirlooms? Are you going to get this one? And also, don't forget to check out this video right here where I cover more news on Apex Legends on the daily. And until next time, everyone, keep slaying in the Outlands. See you out there.